And so we want to pick up now into some new material in Will's book on this idea of can't buy me happiness. So our objective in this series is to honestly challenge ourselves to raise our personal set point with regard to happiness. We talked last week about the reality that we all have a normal set point of happiness that we return to. And we return to it whether great, wonderful things have happened that have caused us to experience a peak of happiness. After time, we go back to that set point. And likewise, if we've experienced things that have really depressed us and pulled us down, after time, we will rise back to that particular set point. What we want to do is remind ourselves that through practice and through intention, we can raise our own personal set point. I shared with you a working definition of happiness, and it is this, that happiness is an all-pervading sense of well-being, an all-pervading sense of well-being and the feeling of contentment. So try to keep that in your awareness, not just when we're sitting here together working on the material, but when you're checking in with yourself throughout the day and throughout the week to check on how happy you are. It's really about what is my pervading sense right now? Do I have a pervading sense of well-being? Do I have a feeling of contentment? I like this one from George Carlin. Trying to be happy by accumulating possessions is like trying to satisfy hunger by taping sandwiches all over your body. Isn't that great? Can you get the visualization, taping sandwiches all over your body? So keep that vision in mind and let that inspire you to break that myth. So Bowen suggests that the myth that more money automatically equals happiness is something we have to transcend. More money does not automatically equal happiness. Now, is there any relationship at all to money and happiness? Well, there's quite a bit of research that does suggest there is some correlation to money and not so much happiness, but the diminishment of feelings of fear and worry and stress and anxiety. And that makes sense, doesn't it? We live in a world where we're not bartering things for things. We barter or we exchange money for things that we need, and we all have certain basic necessities. Food, shelter, clothing, and so forth. And so there is a fair amount of research that absolutely does suggest that a certain level of financial well-being helps to diminish or eliminate those feelings of stress and worry that are directly related to not being able to provide for yourself. But what it goes on further to say is that there is a pretty moderate level at which once you go past that, there is not much improvement in the diminishment of any of those negative feelings. And furthermore, it points to a really critically important point, which is that just because we begin to eliminate or turn down the volume on anxiety and fear and worry that might be associated with the feelings of not enough, that doesn't automatically translate into feelings of contentment and well-being and joy. There is this belief that money equals happiness when in fact their research shows no, it doesn't. And in fact, the quest for it actually undermines the experience of well-being and of joy. It reminds me of the Bible verse that is often used, money is the root of all evil. But that's incorrect. It's impartial, it's an incomplete representation of the teaching. It is the love of money that is the root of all evil. And that is such a really important piece to remember. The love, what is love? It is an action. Love is a state of consciousness. And it is, if we put our state of consciousness attached to a thing, attached to the acquisition of a thing, it is going to be done at the harm of ourselves. What it is pointing to is it is the consciousness with which we pursue anything that matters even more than the thing that we pursue.
Thanks for listening. The Unity Center, transforming lives and healing our world. Check us out Sundays at 9 and 11. Subscribe to our podcasts and download our free app for instant access to a wealth of spiritual teachings, services, and events.